Good afternoon, everybody. Hare Krishna. I'm glad to see you in this wonderful place in the Altai. Today we're going to talk about what is a mantra, how do you pronounce it, what is the effect, what are the fruits of it, why mantras, why Sanskrit and not a different language, why? This is all interesting to know, and when we know about this, it can change our lives, and when we change our lives, it can have an effect. The chanting these mantras can inspire you in your spiritual life and spiritual practice, and it'll give us a beginning. We're going to sing something, the Mangala Charna, auspicious mantra to give a good atmosphere. And the sound vibration purifies the atmosphere and makes us satisfied. It absorbs us in our real spiritual nature. The sounds of this mantra, says they come from the spiritual plane, the spiritual world. And also the mantras, the Sanskrit mantras, they're written in Devanagari. It's called the language of the gods. This sound vibration comes from between higher spiritual entities, those who have different higher universal consciousness and intelligence. Lord Brahma himself, the creator of the universe, his body is made from pure intelligence. Other residents of this universe and in the higher planets, the higher planes, they also have subtle bodies made from subtle material. Like our bodies are physical, there are also subtle bodies, like the body of the mind. Everything's happening to us on the level of the mind. Our fears, our different plans, our different understandings and conversations and associations, we bring it to the physical level. But on the physical level, there's not that much variety. Not and the same as on the subtle plane. These are located on the higher planets. There's more subtle material, subtle matter. And we can say Manasadeha, body that is consisting of the mind. There's a freedom of thinking, and this is a lot more, and are also located in physical bodies. Therefore, if we make it spiritual, and we attain spiritual understanding and intelligence, it helps us very much. It helps us in moving in our associations with our spiritual body. We can also go to other planets in this way. We can associate and have conversations with those who are higher in this universe. And demigods and higher demons, advanced demons. There's other demigods and demons. They're higher than this planet. They also have a more advanced and varied civilization, like the different diasporas of demons. Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj. Different, very advanced devotees of the Lord. They understand their mission, and they act in that way perfectly. And they continue on helping us on the spiritual path. And the same thing is in Sanskrit, there is advanced, very elevated prayers. From the highest planets there, Brahma Loka, there was Brahma, where the Lord has put, He's given the mission of creation. Everything is necessary for this. He's given the ability to create the planets and the different living entities. That's why he consists of pure intelligence. There are over 3 billion years. This is like the life of Lord Brahma on the planet. And then happens destruction. And then another cycle starts. Right now, we're in the middle of the day of Brahma. Means he's about 50 years old, and our life on earth is only about a second, not even a second compared to Brahma. But also we can associate with him through our spiritual development and development of spiritual consciousness. Lord Brahma helps all those who are going along the spiritual path. We know wonderful prayers composed by Lord Brahma that were discovered and uncovered by Lord Chaitanya about 500 years ago in one of the temples of southern India. And the same line, Lord Brahma has given us this is one of his parts, and gives us the ability to study these elevated prayers written in Sanskrit. In the same way that if we study Sanskrit, our intelligence expands. The studying these things, they help increase our spiritual intelligence. Modern scientists, they studied a group of people who were studying Sanskrit and memorizing mantras in Sanskrit. They had a few groups, and one of the groups read mantras in Sanskrit for a few days, and they looked at the results. And it was very interesting to look at the different and everything increased very much so. And if we're reading Sanskrit, we get the same consciousness as gods. So it's very important to us for our personal development to study Sanskrit, read Sanskrit's mantras in Sanskrit. It's important for us to understand the meaning of these mantras. There are different mantras for different goals. Some mantras you can read without understanding of their meaning. So the Hare Krishna mantra, all of the mysticism that's associated with the chanting of this mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, as it's called, so-called, the Maha mantra. In other words, the great mantra, Maha. The Russian word Mahina, very big, great. We can see that all languages, there's Sanskrit, also Russian language. We can find them, Sanskrit words, we can find Russian words as their sources in Sanskrit words. If we chant the Maha Mantra and meditate on the sound of the mantra, pronouncing it in a prayerful mood, very carefully and precisely, this mantra opens up the understanding that it's not just a sound. We see that it's Krishna himself, it's God himself. Other mantras also have similar influences, but they talk about the appearance of the Lord and different conditions of this world and the universe. Writings about, descriptions about the different pastimes of the Lord, they're written in different mantras. So, if we can understand these mantras, it's very auspicious. It'll give us the ability to understand the meaning of the mantras. It'll increase our spiritual intelligence. And Brahma chanted Sanskrit mantras. He understood where he is situated. And when the Lord showed Brahma's abode, I don't understand this abode that's located beyond the borders of this material world. It's more than the creation of this world. It seems so wonderful. And so he started to chant these prayers in Sanskrit. We can also chant them. We can see that wonderful influence of chanting these mantras, how they affect us. If Brahma himself is the creator of this material world, And we can also chant them prayerfully, as Brahma did. And we can also chant these mantras with attention, and they will get the same consciousness as Brahman, of Brahma.
Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana. Вот так он начинал воспевать и прославлять Господа.
That is how Lord Brahma started to chant this and chant this Ishvara Parama Krishna. We got the understanding that Parama Krishna, that Krishna,
что является основным именем Бога.
It's the foundational name of the Lord. Also,
на всей планете, также включая территорию России, Бога называли этим именем Кришна.
We can see that Krishna
называли Кришин,
is
Вышин, также.
Also the highest as well.
Вишну, Вышин, Всевышний.
He's the highest of the highest.
Кришин, русское слово Крыша.
Krisha, the Russian word Krisha, which means roof. It covers everything.
Крыша.
Krisha.
Всех покрывает.
It covers everything.
Всех следит за всеми и всех контролирует.
And controls everything.
Говорит Брахма. Ишвара значит тот, кто
Ishvara
контролирует.
means one who controls
Все.
everything.
Ишвара Парама.
Ishvara Parama, Krishna.
Парама значит
Parama means
высший.
the absolute,
Высший повелитель или высший
the absolute
контролирующий.
controller.
Контролирующий все в этом мире.
He controls everything in this world.
Человека также, коль скоро мы частички Всевышнего Господа, у нас также есть тенденция контролировать.
In this world, we also have a tendency to control.
Но высший контролирующий,
But the highest controller,
Брахма понял это,
Brahma, understood that
сразу же сказал.
is,
Ишвара Парама
he understood this and he said it right away. Ishvara Parama Krishna.
Дальше он говорит.
And then we say
Его
further,
тело.
his body
Из
is,
чего состоит его тело?
what is his body made from?
Если наши тела состоят из грубой материи, есть
If
тела,
our body's made from
состоящие из
from
тонкой материи.
from material elements, physical elements,
Брахма говорит.
then Brahma says that Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means body.
Состоит из чего?
What's it made from?
Сат,
Sat,
Чит,
Chit,
Ананд,
and Ananda.
вечность, знание,
Eternal,
блаженство.
eternal knowledge and bliss.
Сат, вечность,
Sat means eternal.
знание.
Chit is knowledge.
Корень этого слова в русском языке мы находим.
Ne-
Чит, читать,
We can also see the root of this word in Russian
учитель.
is chit,
Чит
means to
значит знание.
chitat, to read,
Чит, Ананда.
uchit, to teach,
Ананда значит блаженство.
and also we can see Ananda. Ananda means bliss.
Сачит, Ананда, вечность,
His,
знание и
so the
блаженство.
Lord's body is made from Sachit Ananda, eternal knowledge and bliss.
Из вечности, знания и блаженства.
Our bodies are also made from this. This is our spiritual body, our original bodies.
Качественно мы едины с Господом.
Just like we're one, a part of God,
Школа солнечного света едина с солнцем.
just like as the rays of the sun are one and the same with the sun.
Она подобна солнцу.
It's just like the sun,
Качественно, конечно, мы не можем сравнивать разницу.
but we cannot compare it.
Огромная разница.
There's such a big difference.
И мы
Also, we
качественно едины с Господом.
have the same qualities of God.
Корпускулы, частички.
We're made from different parts of the Lord.
Но количественно, конечно, мы.
But the quantity
Мы не можем
is different.
творить по одному своему желанию бесчисленные планеты и вселенные, так как это делает Он. И контролировать их все.
And the Lord controls all of this, everything that's happening.
Добиваются каких-то частичных способностей,
We have little small abilities to do
но не в
something,
такой степени, как это
but not on the same level
делает Господь Кришна,
as the Lord Krishna does,
которого называют
who is called Parameshwar Purushottam, Yogeshwar. Yogeshwar, Ishwar, we already know this word. He's the controller. Yoga means connect with mystical ability. He's the controller of all those with, he controls everything with mystic connection. Purushottam, Purush means the personality. Uttama means the absolute. He's the absolute personality. Srila Prabhupada says also that we're personalities as well. The Lord is also a personality. He's the highest spiritual personality. He has all the qualities of a person. He likes something more, he likes something less, and more, and so on and so on. All of this are all the qualities of a personality. He's our creator. There are three qualities that exist in him, also exist in us, to a lesser degree. Purnam Purnam Adam Purnat Ajatate Purnasya Purnamaya Purnamaya Avishyate. In this mantra we hear one of the Shruti mantras. These words that are come right from the God are known as Shruti. And there it says that the Lord goes and enters into all living entities and connects with their emotions and shares emotions with them. Just like we like to talk and have relationships with other people, this comes because the Lord also loves to associate with people. He gives us the ability to do this. And He can do this and give this to us without changing Himself. He can do this to unlimited amount of living entities. Nothing, He doesn't become less at all. This is what's said in the Shruti. And here the Lord gave Brahma the ability to chant this. Brahma starts to describe the leashness of the Lord. The personality of Godhead and His qualities. Let's sing the Mangala Charana and our consciousness. We'll make raise our consciousness up.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Pastaja Deshatarine Om Hari Om Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Om Hari Om Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajana Sahagana Raghunathanita Tam Sajiva Sadhaida Savadhutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Bada Sahagana Valita Sri Vishakhanita Cha Hare Om Om Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Jagate Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Lapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Om Hari Om Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Nam Gauratishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Hari Om Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebha Vaishnavevo Namo Namaha Om Hari Om Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Om Hare Krishna कृष्ण भगवान की जय। जय जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। जय अनंता कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समवेता गुरु भक्त वृंद की जय। हरि ओम तत्सत्।
And if we chant this together, the holy names, this vibration of God, these mantras in Sanskrit, in this form, from chanting in this original language, then it raises our consciousness and it brings us to a higher level. So it's very important to be serious about the studying and recitation of these mantras in Sanskrit. It takes us out of our limited consciousness and our limited body, and it brings us to the higher levels of the higher planets. And we get out of this bodily concept of life, out of this consciousness of life, and it takes us higher and higher. Our understanding, our universal understanding, expands, increases our, but through these sound vibrations, and through the disciplic succession, through the mercy of the disciplic succession, and these elevated souls like Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, they give us a chance to raise our consciousness to the level of the spiritual world, and beyond the limits of this material world. And so Lord Brahma chanted these mantras in Sanskrit, and he got to see the spiritual world. He got to see everything higher in the spiritual world. Just like we see everything here, he saw it.
Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrahma Sevyamanam Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
He says there's no object higher and more suitable for our object as an object of worship. Krishna is the object of worship himself. He is the source of everything, the giver of everything, the giver of all strength, all riches, all beauty, all glories, knowledge. The sages define the Lord with this phrase: in Sanskrit, this means that the personality that is fully and is focused on the source of the controller of all riches. He is the object of all strength. He's the source of all glories. Shriya. The source of all beauty. Jnana, the source of all knowledge. The source of all vairagya, of renunciation. We understand that this personality is called God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's the same person that stops and restarts our eternal loving relationship with Him. For all of us, this relationship already exists. It's eternal for us in our eternal relationships with God. Therefore, the revealed scriptures want to say that humans that take care of their spiritual lives, they purify their hearts so that this love actually appeared in their hearts and was installed in their hearts. It cleans their heart from desire to exploit the energies for materials, for personal sense gratification. You can stop this gratification in the correct way, not for personal sense gratification. It's for the glorification of the Lord. Those are the ones that can actually believe in God and aren't trying to enjoy. Bhuktaram yagitapasam sarva loka maheshwaram hridam sarabhutanam gyatvam mam shatantim rachachati. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-gita tells Arjuna that I am the main enjoyer. I am I control all the sources of enjoyment. How can they, if they try to enjoy this nature themselves, then they'll suffer from it. And if you try to help God, and if we understand this is our natural understanding. He says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Loka means planet. Lokatsya, location. Sarva Loka, of all planets. Ishvara. He's the controller, Maheshwaram, master of all planets. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. And at the same time, he says, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the best friend of all living entities. Sarvadam Sarvabhutanam. Ketvamam. Know me to be this. That I'm Shanti. I have Shanti. I give peace. I give calmness and eternal bliss. And the Lord is the real enjoyer of all, enjoyer of all people, and He calls us to help Him in this. Help Him to enjoy. If we want to do this, we have to know His desires. What brings Him pleasure? In the first place, He says that I get it when my most loved children, my parts and parcels that I created for the exchange of spiritual emotions, return to me. I like most of all when they sing my names. Sataya Kirtanantomam. Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, Satata Kirtayantomam. Always chanting about me, glorifying me, that I give them the same. I give them happiness, spiritual happiness. You can't compare it to lower material enjoyments. You can't call it this material enjoyment, this even enjoyment. This is called a time of quarrel and feelings that only bring us suffering and emptiness, because the time to enjoy is to the source. No, not for this purpose. When we use something for its original purpose, and we don't use this properly, then of course we're going to suffer. The same goes for if we use this energy of the source and don't spend it for its purpose, as in returning it to the Lord, then how can we be happy and calm? We'll just only cause more suffering and anxiety. But we could do it by chanting the names of God. The Lord can give us this, and we'll also feel this bliss and happiness in the highest degree. And Lord Brahma says This is the Lord Govinda. Govinda understands that he's Adi Purusha, like the Russian word Ati. Adin, the one, the only. He's the only. He's the only personality. There's nothing else other than God. Nothing exists separate from Him. Janmaya Syayata Kaham Braham Sarmasya Brahma. Krishna says to Arjuna in the Bhagavad-gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. I am the source of everything. Mata Sarvam Pavartate. Everything comes from me. Know this. Intelligent people know this and worship me accordingly. And so Brahma names the Lord Govinda. That he has many crowns. That this is the he is also Govinda also means that he's the protector of cows, his favorite animal. He gives happiness and pleasure to the cows. It also means to the feelings. Go also means the earth. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Tamuya. Yeah. Worship. And so he says, everything in the spiritual world is not in a higher place. Like Goloka Vrindavan, everything is made from Chintamani. In other words, the philosopher's stone, the highest stone, the highest valuable. And there is no actually it's made of kalpa vrikshas, the desire trees. That there's also unlimited cows who also fulfill the desires. Surabhi. The gopis also serve the Lord, thousands of goddesses of fortune. And also the Lord says this mantra, this prayer. That the Lord plays on the flute too. His eyes are like big, beautiful lotuses. Barha means peacock feather. Buddha Sundar. Sundar Nanda. Sundar means beautiful. Limbs of his body. He has a body that's all concentrated beauty. And he makes they're like he's the color of monsoon clouds, fresh monsoon clouds. So people can understand, well, who is that? Who is God? They say the most ancient personality, the original personality. Sometimes we see the Lord is drawn as an old man. Although the Lord is the first, the oldest personality, he is eternally youthful. He's always filled with youthful beauty. He is Kandarpa Koti. He is filled with love. He is all the beauty of Cupids. It surpasses millions of Cupids. They can't compare with his beauty. All beautiful places and all places can't be compared to Krishna and the Govinda. Sing this, Brahma says. And further he says, he describes the spiritual world. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti koti ushashesha vasudhati vibhuti bhinnam tad brahma nishkalamanantam ashesha Uttam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami.
या चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणं रजासमस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषते च यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संभृतकालचक्र गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्द जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधारमण हरि गोविन्द जय जय गोविन्द जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधारमण हरि गोविन्द जय जय गोविन्द जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधारमण हरि गोविन्द जय जय गोविन्द जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधारमण हरि गोविन्द जय जय Hare Krishna.
So, chanting these Sanskrit mantras, like in the Brahma Samhita, the meaning of these mantras, we can go deeper into the emotions, spiritual emotions, while we chant these mantras. We can feel these emotions only by associating with God. We also sing mantras in the morning that glorify the spiritual teacher. There are also that are close to Sanskrit. Written to the Guru, so that we can deepen our relationship with the Guru, strengthen the relationship. And we should also understand about what we're singing, so that was always refreshed with new emotions, understanding about what we're singing. What kind of qualities the Guru has, and different respects for the, or our practice will just become a routine. That we can also lose our taste for it if it becomes just a routine. And if we're not progressing, then we're degrading ourselves. The Lord every moment is becoming fresher and newer. In the material world, our material bodies are always becoming degrading. But the qualities of the Lord are such that every second He becomes more and more beautiful. And in the next moment He's more beautiful. And this is eternal. And therefore, our emotions every day will be refreshed and strengthened eternally. And therefore, we should understand these mantras that we're singing.
Kirtana Narita Gita Vaditra Manja Manasuna Sena Romancha Kampa Srutaranga Bhajo Bande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Sri Vigrahara Dhananitanana Singarotan Mandira Marjanado Yuktasya Bhakta Saniyonjato Bande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavad Prasad Sadhana Tripta Hari Bhakta Sangha Pritaiva Tripti Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Sri Radhika Madhava Jorapala Madhu Jalila Gunaropanamna Ratikshana Sadhana Lupasya Pande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Nikunjayuna Rati Keli Siddha Yaya Lebhe Juktirapekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Mativallabhasya Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Sakshathari Tvena Samasta Sasnare Jukta Sadha Bhavyata Eva Sati Kintu Prabhur Ja Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutope Ayasvamstasya Shastri Sangha Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda 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 Jai Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Kuti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samaveta Guru Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Таким образом, произнося молитвы на
In this way, we can chant these mantras in Sanskrit,
звуковой вибрации
these
духовного мира,
spiritual vibrations from the spiritual world.
конечно, наше
They're
сознание
bring us higher than the highest limits of this material world.
вселенский масштаб
And we'll also expand our consciousness to a universal level. It's very important to become absorbed in the understanding and the meaning of these mantras, so that we can always have new feelings and new emotions, always be fresh, and actually attain a spiritual body that are connected with our Krishna and Guru. And we can understand about who these mantras are about. There's actual spiritual bliss from these. If we can't get any of this happiness from the material world, because we're actually parts and parcels of spiritual world, of God, of the higher energy. And we should have the same desires as God. And therefore, Sanskrit in our spiritual practice give us the highest spiritual awareness that destroys our material conditioning and of the conditioning of this world. And we finally get to the spiritual world. So let's just, over a few days, we're going to go through these different prayers. We're going to try to become absorbed in the spiritual world together. Hare Krishna, we'll finish on that today. Have a wonderful day.